Last time out here in the NASCAR Thunder 2003 playoffs, we began the round of 8 at Martinsville Speedway today, where Jeff Gordon took advantage of Dylan Murray overdriving the last turn and punching his ticket into the championship for Homestead. Who will join him as we head to probably the biggest wild card this season, a layout here at Texas Motor Speedway that literally nobody here has seen? Some of the drivers to watch today, obviously, Jeff Gordon comes to mind because of his road course success historically. Mark Martin because he wanted the oval Texas road course, or Texas place layout. Guys like Robbie Gordon, Tony Stewart, some of the Busch guys. Mark, maybe Dale Jr. because he had his first career win at the Texas Oval. But this is the Roval, and it's a wild card. We could see a new winner here this season. Maybe a guy like Kurt Busch who hasn't won at all. He surprises everybody and makes it to the Final Four. That'll really shake things up heading to Phoenix. So, today's layout, Texas Motor Speedway road course has 6 turns, making up the 1.4-mile layout. Today's race will pay $161,000 to the winner. And since this is one of the newer tracks on the Cup circuit, emphasizing spectator comfort more than anything, it seats 154,000 people. 90% of this seats were added in the infield, in the S's. The very first race at the Texas Motor Speedway ever was held in 1997. The all-time track record here was set in a test session in June of 2002. Coming to the green flag, it is going to be a bit of an awkward transition from the Roval to the racetrack, but it's like the main track. There are multiple groups in the oval, but you want to get hard on the binders. This could be the biggest trouble spot because of cars coming onto pit road and how sharp and abrupt that turn is. Over in turn 3 and then making it through 4 plus a bit of a winder through 5 and 6 to get on to the main track. This will put us 23rd, first time by. Again, cars will be blending into turn 3, which basically splits the backstretch in half. Before hitting that hard right. So you can see a lot of cars, especially further back in traffic, really jam on each other's brakes, getting down off of the apron. So that will put us 14th that second go-around. By the way, another thing to note, too, the track, normally the front stretch is reversed because normally you're barreling off into that second part of the dogleg in turn 1. Another thing I forgot to note, too, is the transition out of turn 6 basically cuts that dogleg in half, and you basically flip the front stretch. So what is normally NASCAR turn 4 would be road course turn 1. You're just running 3 and 4 in reverse, basically. Here's Barney Hall.
Texas Motor Speedway is the site for today's NASCAR Winston Cup Road Race. The fans can't wait to see this one get underway.
This is something new for the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. This is a great infield layout, and I'm glad to see them come here. The fans have a right to be excited. It's going to be a great show.
The MDNA car has got to be a favorite at the road courses this year.
Oh yeah, I have to agree. He's had a ton of success on these tough road courses so far. I think this will be a great race for him and his team.
Dale Jarrett is currently in the top 10 in points.
He's been working hard this season, and it is paying off so far. He'll need a good finish in this one to gain some spots.
Kyle Petty just never seems to get the car where he'd like at these road course races.
You know, I spoke to him in the garage earlier about his chances today. He feels pretty confident that they've got a top 10 car. Now let's see if he can take care of his car to the end.
Let's see how they'll line up for the start. Jeff Gordon, the NASCAR Winston Cup points leader, will be starting from the number 2 spot. In the second row are the DeWalt Power Tools Ford and the Alltel Ford. Starting the race from row 3 are the 23 car and the Pennzoil Chevrolet. The fourth row has the Ganassi Racing Dodge and the Cheerios Dodge. Starting the race from row 5 will be the BAM Racing Dodge and the Team Rusty Ford. In row 6 we have the Home Depot Pontiac and the 37 car. Starting from row 7 will be the 99 car and the MDNA car. In the 8th row are the Caterpillar Dodge and the UAS Ford. In the 9th row we have the GM Ranch Service Plus Chevrolet and the Valvoline Pontiac. In the 10th row are the Dodge Dinger UAW Dodge and the 98 car. Starting the race from row 11 are the Lowe Chevrolet and the 63 car. The 12th row has the Sirius Satellite Radio Dodge and the Mark Martin Ford. Starting the race from row 13 will be the Motorcraft Ford and the Hamilton Ford. In row 14 we have the Interstate Batteries Pontiac and the 9 car. Starting from row 15 will be the Dale Jr. Chevrolet and the Square D Chevrolet. In the 16th row are the 16 car and the Rubbermaid Ford. In the 17th row are the Kellogg Chevrolet and the Target Dodge. In the 18th row are the Tide Ford and the Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. Starting the race from row 19 are the Spread Dodge and the UAW Delphi Chevrolet. The 20th row has the America Online Chevrolet and the 26 car. Starting the race from row 21 will be the Kodak Chevrolet and the M&M's Pontiac. And finally, starting from the rear of the field will be the 46 car.
1.4 miles today here at the Texas Road Course. That is the layout that these 43 drivers will race on. Robbie Gordon is your pole sitter, the highest chase driver of the 8 remaining. Starting today is Jeff Gordon. He starts on the outside pole. Jeff Gordon won in a thrilling finish on Monday at Martinsville, and on this mid-afternoon Wednesday here at the Texas Road Course. Very unique layout. Literally nobody has seen this layout before. This could be probably the biggest wild card we've seen this playoffs. Pace cars off. Both the Gordons lead him down. We're underway at Texas. Big gaggle here in turn 3. Looks like everybody gets out of it okay. However, the outside lane seems to be at a bigger disadvantage, as out front, Robbie Gordon with Matt Kenseth behind him will lead the first lap. Dylan Murray trying to take the 20 of Tony Stewart 3 wide. Robbie Gordon will lead the first lap here today at Texas. And here comes Dylan Murray continuing to make that run on the bottom. He gets by Andretti, Wallace, Shauna Robinson, probably the 40th Sterling Marlin if he could, but Shauna Robinson gets into Dylan, who gets into Sterling Marlin. No further contact there. As out front, it is single file. Matt Kenseth is your race leader. He has not won at a road course in his career. Here today, he looks to be strong. He was strong here in the Oval Texas race in the spring. He looks to be fast today. Oh, Newman gets into him. Hard contact by Newman. And here comes Dylan trying to get hit by Gordon for third. By Jeff Gordon, who's currently attacking Robbie for second. Last time we had a non-Chevrolet driver win a race here this season was all the way back at the first leg of the Daytona Tour, which was on the sandy beach. That race was won by Dale Jarrett. Robbie Gordon falls to third, and Dylan Murray looks to chase down Kenseth. And get to him here for the race lead in the next couple laps or so. That is kind of a rough transition if you really think about it, from the road course onto turn 6, which would be probably halfway up the dog leg, or the second dog leg there on the front stretch. That's such a rough transition, just from going from apron to infield to racetrack, because you saw it there. We'll go on board here. Watch the 17. Comes up. Kind of got a little loose. Oh, he kind of got loose again off of 4. That really allowed Dylan to close up. He could get Kenseth here in turn 1. And he's got it. Can he clear him? Kenseth still holding strong in that AT&T Ford. And Dylan will clear Kenseth going into turn 3. Murray and Kenseth going at it here for the lead. Kenseth trying to look under the 121. And Dylan Murray is going to add a little bit of distance to the 17 car. Jeez, hang on. Oh. And Dylan Murray gives up the lead to Kenseth, and Dylan crosses over under him for the spot here at 3. Ooh, a little bit of contact. Wow. And he gets Kenseth there, too. Dylan back out front here in the Texas 500 gang. And this time he's got probably half a second lead on Matt, with Gordon and Robbie fighting for third. And Dylan locks up the tires again. This could make pit stops in tires critical today because of how sharp and how hard on the brakes these guys get. So there were talks about them putting brake markers on the catch outside fence going into turn 3 to remind drivers where to brake, because brakes were burning up and tires were burning up so bad that some drivers just missed the corner and overshoot into the wall. Kenseth trying to make a pass up top. Dylan with an aggressive move. And he misses his mark and gets back on. That brought Jeff Gordon back into the mix. Moved Dylan back to the point. Moved Robbie to second. Robbie gets a little squirrely off the 6. Slips back into the clutches of Gordon. And Dylan continuing to block Matt. Kind of got to his back bumper. Nearly pushed him almost. And that brought Sterling and Marlin into this as well. So you get 5 cars in one spot here for the lead. Tony Stewart started back in 13th. He is currently in 6th. You see his orange Pontiac. Dylan throwing a block on Matt. He lets Robbie in. Robbie Gordon side by side with Dylan for the lead. Dylan lets Robbie have the spot. Here comes the playoff driver, Sterling Marlin, back there in third. He takes second. And now Dylan comes under Marlin to take second back from Marlin. "12 laps complete in the Texas 500K. We have ran all of them caution-free. And this is shaping up to be a nice, solid battle. Dylan Murway slides in front of Jeff, but slides his tires. Gordon takes the lead. And there's Dylan. Oh, he moved Gordon out of the way. Okay. Yeah, he moved him out of 6. Surprised Dylan didn't spin Gordon in the 121, but somehow that worked. And then Dylan gets back onto the binders into turn 3. Tires are probably gone on that car, on that MBNA Chevrolet. Signing on for the final 3 races this season, as Dylan returns back to the traditional man in black paint scheme he drives. He drives and is going to drive for every day race next year, except for the Indy race in July and the Darlington throwback race to open the playoffs. And here comes Robbie forcing his way into the lead there. Wearing down that right front. It's because of how hard they brake into turn 3 there. So as of right now, with Dylan leading, we look at the playoff picture. There's really 2 spots that are left. As we look through the running order here. And those are currently being covered, one of them anyway. They're being covered by Kevin Harvick and Jimmy Johnson. Sorry, Sterling Marlin is the highest on points. And that leaves Kevin Harvick, the last guy in. He is a 4 points ahead of Jimmy Johnson, with Dale Jarrett, Mark Martin, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Earnhardt Jr. and Kurt Busch. Jarrett, Martin, Jr., Busch. Remember, Gordon is already through to Miami. Dillon is currently the race leader, and that means Jr. is inside the top 4 as of right now. Marlin takes the lead and goes on to win. That makes things even tighter for a guy like Harvick. And Robbie forcing it. Oh, he gets into Sterling. How much damage? Look at that. Dillon misses turn 3 and allows Sterling to get to the top spot. Sorry there, saw how big the point situation became with Sterling taking the lead. Now that happened, Dylan Murray is now outside by 3, so that means the top 4 would be Gordon, Marlin, Jr., and Harvick. Outside would be Jarrett, Murray, Martin, and Busch. And then Dillon takes it back and knocks Marlin outside the top 4. And here comes Robbie. They're all over each other. Here comes Jeff Gordon coming back. He actually won a road course race this year back at Sonoma. And on a late one-lap dash to the finish, you can look for him to be strong this afternoon. However, on these oval, last time we were at a road course oval hybrid, it was Dylan Murray that had the dominant car. And Dylan forced his way past Sterling, kind of took his nose off, going into turn 3. And here comes Gordon to try to charge and take the lead. Move Jeff Gordon back out front here at Texas. Last time we were at the oval layout, Jeff Gordon crashed and ended up finishing 37th that day. I'm sure he wants to not only win at Texas for the first time, which arguably Texas is one of Jeff Gordon's worst racetracks. The only time he finished a race without any crash damage was in real life. He's only finished 2 races here without crashing. But in the first 3 races, he crashed in every single one of them. And the first time he didn't crash was back in the 2001 Texas 500, chasing down Dale Jarrett for the race win. Here this season, well, it's easier said than done for him here at Texas. You threw that together, plus his success on a road course, you knew Jeff was going to be a fixture out front in this race, like he always is historically at these road courses. I think his worst finish on a road course was back at the race 2 of the Glen doubleheader, where he finished 15th. As out front, Dylan Murray has taken Sterling Marlin out of the top 4, which means Jr. and Jarrett are in. Harvick also fell out further back as he fights around. 3 wide through the field is a 3-wide fight for second. Dylan Murray kind of shortcutted the course there as he overshot that corner. .35 to go. Here in the Texas 500. Okay. Dylan Murway leads. Jeff Gordon. Remember, he did win Martinsville when Dylan Murway overdrove over the turn 4, giving Jeff Gordon the win. He's looking to go 2 in a row. Because the thing with the championship race, if you're anybody in the top 4, points don't matter. The highest of the 4 drivers will be the Winston Cup champion for 2002. Dylan Murway, Gordon side by side for the lead. Anytime you see those two together, it's usually fun to watch. See Richmond earlier this year. Dylan Murway getting awful wide with that 17 car of Matt Kenseth. Last time he won was all the way back at the Darlington night race earlier this year. And that race was won under yellow. And here's Kenseth trying to look under Dylan Murway. Dylan shuts the door going into turn 3, that hard right-hander. Okay, out of reach. And then here's Dylan, kind of clips the curb here through turn 5. Dylan, whoa, contact. Someone slammed into the back of Kenseth. And I believe that might be people coming to green flag stops. I can't tell if it was Kenseth checking up because he wasn't sure where Dylan was going to go, or if he just ran into the back of Kenseth, but that was a big moment there. Marlin comes in to try to take the lead. Dylan is just covering every inch of racetrack like he should. And back onto the main track. Oh, got smoke in the back. Never mind, green is still out. And here come cars off the pit road. I could make things for an interesting entrance here into 3, that hard right-hander. And here's Dylan back through the small S curve. Kind of overdrove turn 6 there. Here comes Marlin to take the lead. There's contact. And Dylan still led this lap here with 30 to go. We ran basically the entire first portion of this race caution-free. Or first half, basically. No cars have fallen out of the race. Last time that happened was New Hampshire. There were cars that fell. I don't think there was any race this season where everybody finished in the same condition. Must be all those yellow flag laps. Dylan to the line. He will lead this lap here by a full second. I think Marlin might be saving his stuff. Hard in turn 3, back onto the road course layout. And Dylan Murway out here trying to maybe do a stretch run here on fuel and his tires. Obviously, his fronts are wearing down big time. Jeff Gordon comes back to the second spot. They always lock up those tires going into 3. They charge the corner, but they end up locking those tires, and that does a number on brake rotors, and that wears those beads down, and it wears the rubber off. So you really have to be careful later on, depending on how far you want to stretch these tires. As Dylan Murway has lost a couple seconds that lap because of that tire wear. Burning them tires down. And misses turn 3 entirely. Dylan gets back on. And, yeah, he's going to have to pit this time, dude. Come on, pit, pit, pit. And Dylan is going to come down pit road this time. On the hill. And begin his round of green flag stops. Looks like Dylan is the only car on pit lane. He did have a lot of contact there with somebody. I think it might have been off turn 3 as Dylan nearly trips. That's been a problem this entire season. His pit crew is having issues. And Dylan will be the last car on the lead lap, which means if a yellow were to come out, he is going to have to hold off the leader, which right now is the 17 at Kenseth. And Kenseth will come down pit road this time. Here for his cycle of green flag stops, and that really will get those underway. Oh, Dylan smacked turn 3 there. The barrier. Still green. Let's go on board here for a lap at the Texas road course. Oh, got a crash. The caution has come out, which is a big break for a guy like Dylan Murway, who began pitted a couple laps before. We'll see how this plays out. And we're unclear what the caution is for. But the field will race back to the caution flag. And Dylan Murway will be scored in 27th. Or 25th with cars coming on. And it is Bobby Hamilton who just caught that. He was trying to time that entry into pit lane way too fast. Ends up smacking the pit road barriers that jutted out. So this could make for an interesting restart. Dylan Murway will restart 9th. Green flag back into the air here at Texas. Johnson is your leader. Big gaggle, 4 wide into that infield portion. Dylan Murway battling with Kenseth for 5th. Trying to get that car going. gets back in line in fourth. You got Johnson, Mayfield, and Murway, the top three. Johnson is your race leader. So this means Dylan Murway gets kicked back out into the final four. Mayfield gets driven into the fence. So does Kimmel. Kimmel hits the inside wall. Mayfield hits the outside wall. Dylan is close to the back bumper of that 48 car. All right, inside. Still there. On you tight. And Jimmy gets tipped up the racetrack here. Dylan out front with 18 to go. Or 17 to go at the line. Oh, somebody gets into Casey Kane, who hits Dylan. Dylan goes wide. And it looks like Kenseth has the spot. No, Kenseth goes wide. Here comes, can't tell who that is, but there's a lot of traffic back there for these chasers to get through. But Dylan Murway is enjoying some clean sailing out front with 16 to go. One car is on pit road. By the way, Rusty Wallace has made his way to fifth. Unclear who the car was on pit road that made his way down. And it was Dale Jarrett with a problem. Wow. Tough break for him as nearly going from nearly winning Martinsville to having engine issues at Texas. There's Bobby Labonte and Matt Kenseth in second. Bobby Labonte is a Texas native, so I'm sure he would love to win in front of the hometown crowd. Today, Dylan with a full second lead over the 17 of Matt Kenseth. And then back down on the brakes in the 3. Kenseth closes in. And he really backed it down there in the 3. Kenseth takes the spot back. Here comes Bobby Labonte for third. Under attack by the lap car, Kyle Petty. Still out front. Dylan clips the corner side by side with Matt. Dylan barely led that lap, but he gets the most laps led award, which will definitely help him in points. Who needs points? Dylan wants a win. Kenseth gets tipped into the dirt. Petty comes to get in front of him. Here comes Bobby Labonte, the Texas native, to try to take the lead. Dylan gets into him. And almost gets taken out by Matt. There's Marlin back there in fourth. Sorry, third. Yeah, fourth. But he's going to take third here coming into turn 1 and probably take second if Dylan and Kenseth continue to mess with each other. Comes Marlin. And, Marlin gets taken out. The caution has come out. Oh, boy. Both cars get going. So, second caution flag of the afternoon. That may put Dylan in a must-win situation heading to Phoenix. Here comes Dylan charging into that corner. Can he gets in the bush in the 97 car? And just like that, 34th to 25th, and a lot of damage to Robbie Gordon's car. And that 31. And big time damage. So a guy like Mark Martin needs to get away from Robbie. Very tough-ish end to a race. Definitely not what he was expecting for the 31 team. 7 to go at the line. Dylan Murway is your leader. Here. Dylan Murway is 20th. Ricky Rudd is your leader. No chasers are in the top 6 or top 5. The highest right now in terms of speed chase would be Jeff Gordon in 7th. Wow. Dylan charging his way in there. And he's getting awfully physical. 3 wide, forcing his way inside the top 10. Yeah, he wants a shot. And caution's out. Harvick into the wall hard. Another debris caution, and the second time Harvick's ran over a piece of debris. This time it clobbered that turn 6 wall. Or he tried to save it, but he smacked that wall. Three to go. All right, 2 to go at the line. If the yellow were to come out now, this race will be official. Rudd leads. What will Dylan Murway do? Forces his way in. Edging Gordon out of Bobby Labonte. Sorry, he was in Bristol. Bobby Labonte, last win he had was back all the way back at Richmond. Here comes Dylan Murway basically off into the dirt doing some agricultural racing here to get to the white. What will he do if he gets to Ricky Rudd? All I know is if there's a spot in Miami on the line, that 28 car is going to get crashed. The white flag waves here at Texas. Dylan Murway charges the corner in 2. He hard on the brakes into 3. And he made up a lot of time. And he moves him. He moved the 28 a little bit. He's going to have to complete this pass. Will he get there? Does he have enough time? Turn 6. Sprint to the finish. It is Dylan Murway who just nips Ricky Rudd at the line and is through to the championship 4.
Oh, yeah, there were a lot of cars out there that could have won this thing. Lots of different livery teams, one thing. Lots of very strong race cars.
The 121 car plus the car to beat all race long.
Doesn't get much better than that. Race the most laps, more importantly, you race the last lap. Here's Tim the victory.
Unfortunately, we're out of time for now. Thanks for joining us. Next up is Phoenix.
So after a crazy finish with Dylan Murway smoking the tires and banging that car around, nearly taking Kenseth out here, Dillon is through to the championship 4, edging out Ricky Rudd in a thrilling last turn, last lap pass. Heartbreak for the 2018. So Ricky Rudd and Dylan Murway fighting for the win on the last lap. Dylan was banging around like a bull in a china shop to get some lines. So Ricky Rudd is second, Matt Kenseth third, Ward Burton fourth, Jeff Gordon fifth, Ryan Newman sixth, Rusty Wallace seventh, Bobby Labonte eighth, Sterling Marlin ninth, and John Andretti with a nice run today in 10th. So winner's purse, Dylan Murway earns $161,000, 3 caution flags for 10 laps, 16 lead changes. Among 8 drivers. Time of race, a little under 49 minutes. Average speed, 94 miles an hour. And the margin of victory, 71 100ths of a second. And believe it or not, everybody except Dale Jarrett finished this race. That was after the Kevin Harvick incident. So drivers to watch heading into Phoenix. Harvick, Johnson, Busch, and Martin are the drivers to watch. Marlin and Jr. are in as of right now. Sterling Marlin and Dale Earnhardt Jr. are inside the championship 4. Martin, Jr., Martin, Kevin Harvick, Jimmy Johnson, and Kurt Busch are drivers that are outside the championship 4. So, heading into Phoenix, any of those 4 win to join Jeff Gordon and Dylan Murway? They will be through to compete for a championship. Chevrolet can also lock up the manufacturer's championship in Phoenix after having a full-on stranglehold on the playoffs this season. In fact, if we look at the drivers who've won races, it has been basically a split between either Jeff Gordon or Dylan Murway for the most part. In fact, Jeff Gordon won Darlington, Bristol, Martinsville. Dylan Murway won Richmond, California, and Texas. So in terms of the playoffs, Gordon and Harvick are an even 500. Gordon and Murway. And Harvick and Johnson are the only other drivers that won Charlotte and Talladega. So heading into Phoenix, can Sterling Marlin, Mark Martin, or Kurt Busch try to stop Chevrolet's reign? Who will join the championship 4? Man, we got a lot of storylines. All you got to do, tune in at 4 o'clock Friday, 4 o'clock Eastern, to figure out who will fight for the championship.